Hi everyone, Anthony Morganti here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do selective color in Lightroom. With Lightroom's new masking, selective color is a lot easier to do than it used to be. Now I'm going to show you a few different examples because there are a couple different ways you could do this. And one way might work best with one type of image, whereas another way will work better with a different image. Now for this first example, I just have this simple raw file of this leaf. This is an unedited raw file, and I'd like to have the leaf in color, but everything else in black and white. Now you could optionally do some editing first, some global editing first. I'm going to do that here. So I'm going to go to the basic tab, and I'm going to take the highlights down so I could see some more detail in the leaf. And I'm going to open up the shadows. Then I'm going to get a white point by holding in the Option key on my Mac. It's Alt key on a PC. Click on that white slider and I get this almost entirely black screen. I'll move this to the right until I see some color come through. That means I'm starting to clip the highlights. I'm blowing out the highlights there. I don't like to blow out the highlights, so I'll move it till it's almost all gone. You can see there's a little blue there. That means I'm blowing out the blue channel. That's no big deal. Same thing for blacks. I'll hold in the Option key on my Mac, Alt key on a PC, click on this black slider and I get a white screen. And I move this to left and I see some color come through. That means I'm starting to clip those color channels. I'm crushing the shadows in those areas. And I don't really mind crushing the shadows a little bit. So that means I have absolute black in my image and almost absolute light white, but not quite. Now I'm going to hold off on doing anything with texture clarity or vibrance or saturation. I'm going to do the selective color now. Now what I'll do is I'll go to masking, and what I would recommend you do if you don't have a person in the image, because we're going to mask a person in a moment. But if you don't have a person, see if a subject mask will work. So click on subject and see what it does. And you can see that it's selected the leaf, but it also selected those parts of those bars as well. Now I could subtract from this with a brush, but I think there's a better way. So I'm going to undo this by hitting Command or Control Z on my computer to undo it. Now, again, I would suggest you try subject first because often that will work, but in this case it didn't. So instead, what I'll do is I'll go to Objects, and I could either use a brush or I could use a marquee tool. Let's use the marquee tool and just draw a marquee around our leaf, and then let Lightroom find leaf, and you can see that it found it perfectly. So far, so good. I have a perfect selection of the leaf. Well, what I need to do is I need to invert this. To do that, click on this little invert checkbox right here. And now I have everything except the leaf selected. And then what I'll do is I'll go to the saturation slider, and I'm just going to pull saturation all the way down. Now I have really selective color done, but I want to do a little more editing. I want to do something with that leaf. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just copy my mask, but invert it. To do that, I could go to where it says Mask 1, click on the three dots next to it, and then go down to Duplicate and Invert Mask right here. And when I do that, I'll have a new mask of just the leaf. And here I'm going to increase saturation, and then I'm going to go to Effects, and I'm going to add some clarity and some texture. I'll go to Tone 2, and I'm going to go to Highlights and pull those down a little more, like that. So there is my selective color on this image. I could finish it off with a global adjustment. I'll add a darker vignette just to put more emphasis on our leaf. So there is selective color. There's before, and there's after. There's before, and there's after. All right, let's try a different situation. I have this image. This is another unedited raw file, and I'd like to, as you could probably guess, have the hats in color, but everything else in black and white. Now for this image, I don't think I'm going to do any editing to begin with. It's really optional whether you do some global editing to start or save that to the end, or maybe not do it at all, just use masks. But in this case here, I'm going to try to get a selection of both of the hats. To do that, I am going to go to Masking, and I am going to try subject first. As I suggested, try subject first. And you can see that it did a good job of selecting the hats, but it over-selected. It has part of the branches as well. So I need to subtract from this mask. So I'm going to click Subtract. I'm going to subtract with a brush. Now I'm going to do the obvious parts first, these parts of branches that aren't anywhere near the hats. So I'm going to take Auto Mask off for that. So I have this minus brush, so I'm going to come here and remove that overlay from that part. As you could see there, up in there a little bit, and from over here, and from there, and over here, and down in here, and this branch over here, right to the hat. And now I have the parts of the branches that are in front of the hat. I need to mask those out as well. So I'm still using my same subtract brush. I'm just going to turn the overlay off. And then I'm going to turn auto mask on. With auto mask on, what I could do is wherever I click initially, Lightroom will look at the tone, texture, and color of the area directly below the brush, and it will only apply the brush stroke to similar tone, texture, and color. So I could come in with probably a little bit bigger of a brush than I need to mask it away from these parts of the branches here. But because I have auto mask on, I'm going to get just a little smaller, maybe. Because I have auto mask on, it will tend to only apply the brush stroke to the actual branch. Now I don't have the actual overlay on because it's just easier for me to see the actual branch. I could turn overlay on though if I think it would help, and you can see what I did there. And then I could turn on maybe here, and I could take the opacity down. That could be another option, but I think I just want it off. I think that's fine. And then I got to come in and do this one. Just try to be careful. It's not rocket science. You don't have to be perfect. And we'll get this branch over here. And then we got to get this branch here. And there, and there's a tiny bit of a kind of a leaf or dead leaf or something right here. And let's turn the overlay back on and see what we're doing. And probably right in here, I should work on a little better. And right in here, I missed. Oops, I made a boo-boo. If you make a boo-boo, hold in the Option key and you'll get a plus brush, and you could come back in and fix wherever you messed up. So just hold the Alt or Option key. Alt if you have PC, Option if you have a Mac. And I kind of messed up here too. Kind of go over and then there. I think that's good enough. All right, so we have the hats selected, but I need to invert this. Now the thing is, if you go over here like we did before and click this invert checkbox, it won't invert the mask correctly because we subtracted from the mask. In order to invert this mask correctly, when you use either add or subtract on it, you need to go to these three dots and go to invert mask here. Then you'll get a perfect inversion of the mask. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to color, and we're going to take all the color out. Now I want to do some work on the hats. So instead of doing this all over again, all I need to do is duplicate and invert this existing mask. To do that, go to these three dots again, and then go down to duplicate and invert the mask. Now I just have my hat selected, and here I'm going to kick up the saturation. I am going to go to effects, and I'm going to add some clarity and some texture. And I think I'll go to detail, and I'm going to add some sharpness. And I think I'm going to go to tone, and I'm going to add contrast. And then I'm going to go back to effects. I'm going to increase clarity a little more. I'm really trying to make those hats pop. And I think that's it. Now that I really haven't done any global adjustments yet. So I think all I want to do with global adjustments is I'll go to effects and I'll add that darker vignette like I did before. So there's before and there's after. There's before and there's after. Now, all right, now I mentioned try subject first. I worked pretty well on this one. I just had to subtract a little bit from it. On the previous one, subject didn't work as well, so I had to use an object mask. Those are probably the two masks you'll use most often. But there are times when you won't use either, and that's when you have a person. And most often with a person, you're going to want to either mask their clothing or mask their eyes. Now, in the 2000s, when I first started using Photoshop, there was a kind of a trend with selective color where you would have especially portraits of children in black and white, except their irises would be in color. And it was a thing. It was a very popular thing. And I wish I had model releases for all those images I had back then, because I'd be using them instead of this image. This is an Adobe stock image because I don't really have any images of babies with beautiful blue eyes as like this baby has. So this is, as I mentioned, an Adobe stock image. So it has been edited. So I really don't need to do any global adjustments. So what I'm going to do is I'll go right to masking, and we'll click on the little person icon here. And we want to mask the iris and pupil. So we'll click there and we'll click Create Mask. So we have that masked, but we don't want to pull the color out of the person or the baby's eyes. We want the color pulled out of everywhere else. So because I didn't add or subtract from this mask, I could click this little checkbox here, and then I could go to color, and I'll just take saturation all the way down. Now we have this selective color that was popular in like 2004, 2005. Now, if I want to enhance the baby's eyes a little more, I could go up to where it says Mask 1, click on the little dots here, and I could duplicate and invert the mask. So I have the baby's eyes selected again, and we'll go to Effects. We'll add some clarity and some texture. Maybe we'll go to color, and we'll add some more saturation. Just put it over the top, because, you know, that's what we do, I guess. So that's that. And now that looks pretty good. You know, this one I probably wouldn't use a darker vignette or any vignette at all on it because the baby's off center. So I think I'm done with this one. So there is before. Oops, there is before and there's after. Personally, I like that one. I like that version of the image. I don't care for that as much, probably because I've seen it so much and done it so much, it doesn't appeal to me any longer. But I do like the color version better. But it's something you might want to experiment with and see how it works for you. It's still something you could play around. I think it's a nice artistic thing to do. Some people really frown upon this, and I don't really subscribe to the notion that photography should be done a certain way because there's a right way and a wrong way. I think it's an artistic expression. And if you really like doing this, then do it. That's the way you could express yourself. I particularly like this image. I think it's a much better image than that image. So I kind of like it for some images. I just don't care for it on images of people any longer because I did it so much. But that's it. That's selective color in Lightroom. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.